Ah, ah, the countdown is ended. Now I'm live and things are happening. Hey, there's only one person here. Good. There's only one person going to see this. I was thinking about how Gavin said he's been recording himself for 10 years, and I'm like, anybody can do this, but while in fact, this is not my first rodeo of making an ass out of myself on the internet, although since only 77 people ever saw it until this moment, well, I don't know if it counts, but this exists. Oh, God.
Welcome to After Dark. I'm Griswold Grimm, and I have with me Stephanie Sims.
Hey there, how are ya?
Yeah.
This poor woman.
Tonight's episode is playing Planeswalker, and I'll be doing a little spiel about what that means to me, and then I'll be swinging around to Stephanie for
oh God, I don't think I could do
discussion
this, guys.
and whatnot.
I don't have it in me.
I have to bring this up because Zara made it for me.
I just can't. I can't. And here's something Chad
I have a series of...
The romance of the 1920s, a time when Hollywood exploded, flappers danced, and jazz soared. American culture hit new heights, some higher than others. Not for acrophobics or for people with big behinds, this fad tested the will and endurance of its most enthusiastic participants. Flagpole sitting.
Yeah, I have no idea why he would do such a thing, honestly. And what are you going to do? Hey, what is it? Whoa, this is a weird one. Oh yeah, because well, I can kind of do it like that. Hey guys, how's it going? What's going on? Hey, get off of my face, lady. Okay. So this should be a monster party, and maybe it'll turn into that. But I just creating the manifest space of the thing was all I could barely do today. However, Rascal is he's made himself comfortable. He's I don't know if it's what happened last night, but the Panther over there is wearing the hat now. You dirty rascal, and he's all prim and proper. Nice fellow there. Oh, right. We should do savings throws. Good point. Click thing I just did. Here, welcome. I hope you're feeling virtually not alone. This is part of the virtually not alone network. The bubble's a lot smaller when I use StreamYards. Here, you're swimming in mind control constantly, even if you just think of it as the commercials. So against that mind control here at the Griswold Grimm live stream experience, you get savings throws. One of those is those are based on one of 4 categories which you are to choose to participate, and that is survival, social, wisdom, or heart. And if it's over 10, you take half damage from the mind control you experience for the rest of the day, as far as I'm concerned. Choose! Those of you who chose survival, Nat 1 again. I don't know what to say about that. Socialists doing well with a 16 today. Sophist, lovers of wisdom, a 7. If you've made a comment on a live stream, then you get a +3 bonus to that, and that makes your 10. And heart, folks, 13. 13 for you, so you're going to be all right. Well, you'll take half damage anyway. Here's some me running and hiding and showing more of Chad's stuff.
It became all the rage in 1924 thanks to Alvin Shipwreck Kelly, a stuntman who climbed up a flagpole and just sat there for 13 hours and 13 minutes. Kelly, who claimed...
I think I could do that in a live stream. I think I could do 13 hours and 13 minutes. So long as everyone gave me permission to go do smoke breaks while I ran clips. I think. Did you guys know you can make comments over here? Look, comment. You can do this, and that would make it like I had questions to answer, because I kind of don't. I mean, I think there might be one. There was this section for a while. I might have buried it in the archives of the Broken Clock Tower Discord, which you can join in the description, I guess. Where I was doing Grim bad emails. Yes, here it is. There was a question. Oh dear, that's a long question. Something about the martial law and boats. I can't. Does anybody? Hey, that clip made me lose it. What? Which one? That really old me, or or this flagpole set a clip from Chad here?
Claimed to be a survivor of the Titanic, did it on a dare. But when word got out, everyone wanted to be king of the pole. Trying to cash in on the new fad and set records, Baltimore became the unofficial flagpole sitting capital in 1929, with 20 kids attempting it in 1 week alone.
1 week. Oh, it was the first challenge. It was the first challenge. Smoke them if you got them. Thank you, Palpable. I intend to. I don't find it appropriate to do it on a live stream anymore. I did on that slutty Lemonland place where it was like degenerating yourself publicly. People would give you more. I don't know why. But I try not to. In front of the live stream audience. Can you guys put something in the chat with a question mark at the end so that I can deliver on this November Q&A or some chat thing? I mean, I guess I'm delivering on the or some chat thing part, yeah? Oh, what do you want to... Really? Okay, sure, Grim. Why not run your own clips collection?
And I've mentioned this before, that I think us seeing, and by us, I mean, I include Jews as well, but seeing Paul as a certain authority, us seeing him sort of process Vervaeke, Jordan Peterson, Jonathan Mudhut together with the Bible is sort of, we see this authority taking this and sort of, transmitting it sort of to us, or giving it sort of a stamp of approval from religious perspective of like, this works together. And I think in a certain sense, that's in a certain case, sort of the meaning we get to feel around. We're seeing like, okay, he's taking this, and seems to be coherent. Now, I don't know. I think that's like, it's still very much in its like early stage. And
Paul, there's only a couple of people I would say this in my life, but it seems to me that Paul knows how to love wisely. And that ultimately is more important than a kind of certain conceptual, technical precision or expertise. I'm not saying he does not have good conceptual abilities, but Socrates argued for, knowing how, care about the right way, a rationality of caring. And I find that Paul exemplifies that. I find that often where he cares and exhibits concern and reaches out for connection, brings that sort of living spirit into it, it's reliably good. Paul,
reliably good. Gavin, thank you for joining me in today's live stream chat event or Q&A thing.
Glad to be here, Graham.
If you have a question, we're doing a Q&A.
Okay.
If not, we have one from Third Wave Red Pill. Says, did you watch the comment video on the poll clip? I guess I didn't. I guess I missed out.
I did see Chad's video. It's pretty good.
The comment video. What was the commenting on flagpole sitting, or was it not? Was it the one this morning where he was driving in the dark and there was nothing to look at?
I don't know about that one.
Me either. That's the one I watched this morning, but I don't know anything about it.
I watched it. I watched the one where he was angry yesterday, where Chad was angry, and then I guess the flagpole thing was this morning. I watched those two.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to drop it in the comments for us to watch it, or I'll have to dig it up or something. But first, Palpable Bull says, "Say what?" As for the November Q&A. I'll let you go first since you're the guest of honor. Say what?
What?
Really? Wow! I thought you
I
would
did
go
it.
with Peace on Earth or Build the Chi or something. All right, for my response to say what? You feel that love in your heart? That's from my superpowers. Thank you for your support. That's my say what? I cut you off. Were you going to say something?
No.
Good,
Nope.
good.
I was thinking, like, when you do these just chatting, can you just have silence to the point that it just gets awkward, you know? And then who can allow the silence to happen for long enough before someone has to say something? But this is, you're hosting, so you get to decide how much silence there can be.
That's true. I have that. Well, sometimes it's an accident how much silence there is. There is that. So you're playing. Yes. Yes, I was playing Verveki. He did a really touching comment on Paul. I clipped out on his Discord Q&A from just 3 days ago. And I guess the new one is less than a month away and only 2 weeks if you're on the Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord. And I think I might try and get a question in. On them there. Oh, just chatting was great. Was it great? Let's find out. Let's see. I got the notification for it. There's from him. Oh, King of the Corner. I think that's probably the commentary video. And there's the just chatting one. Let's this is the one I think we were asked about. Oh, it has 33 views right now. What do you know? Am I showing anybody? No. Jackhole. What does Google say no? Google seems to say no, everybody. Or whatever powers that be. But King of the Corner is not playing for me. Oh no, and now I've closed the tab. Here, is it just me? Says Phlebas. Phlebas? What do you like? You like Phlebas or Phlebas better for that chat name?
He explained it to me the other day, but I immediately forgot how to pronounce it, and then I was embarrassed.
Well, what are we going to call him now? Because we get to decide since we're the ones brave enough to come up here on the stage.
He came in. He came in and talked on the stage the other day. He's from Canada. He does construction work. He taught us how to do some work on some flooring in a bathroom.
I'm just asking you how to say his name, Gavin. We're deciding it right now. Oh, fine. Phlebas says, Grim, is it just me, or is it mostly non-churchgoers who want hierarchy from PVK? The only person I noticed that wants hierarchy from PVK is Jacob Federici.
What about Mark?
No, I don't think I don't see it as, but I can't watch Mark for more than like 30 seconds, so maybe I missed it.
Yeah, he was the one that came to mind. He talks about there needs to be a head for the structure, and I'm not saying I agree, and then he's a Catholic, so there might be this Protestant Catholic thing going on.
Well, you know what would be fun then is for those two to get together and decide which one of them is going to be top of their little hierarchy, and we'll start from there. Oh, it likely got censored. Well, maybe that's why I wouldn't play. Lynn Hart did good today. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was good. Hardly and masterful with the bread and butters. That's you, right? You confuse me by being somebody else on the Discord. If I were to interview a pirate captain about onboarding and matriarchy, would you have any questions? It reminds me of a terribly disturbing Decemberist song video. Let me see. Interviewing a pirate captain. Yeah, actually, what I would want to know what the pirate captain's initiation process was. Like, depending on the circumstances, it could be a pirate who brings volunteers on board, or the kind that like Shanghai's new people when they get too drunk in the ports, right? And I would like to know, okay, when you get the people on the board and you have them out to sea, what do you do to establish dominance and proper submission out of them? How do you initiate them into the part of the crew? Or do you treat them as hootenanny and make them earn their way into the crew? And about the matriarchy, it'd be like, I would ask the pirate captain about his greatest love of his life. And then you could see by the power that lady had over him, the power of the shadow matriarchy. And I hope that answers your question, sir. Gavin, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'd want to ask the captain, what would I have to do for you to like dump me off in the ocean? Right? What is it? Because that's the thing I'd be worried about. It's like, are you going to drop me out? Are you just going to like kick me off the boat? Like, what's your rules here? What's your line in the sand where as long as you don't cross this line?
Okay.
You're fine.
I'm gonna call it out as like, maybe this is something we'll chalk up to your neurodivergence, but I'm gonna say that if you're in that situation, rather than saying, "Hey, Captain, what do I have to do to get you to throw me off the boat?" you might say, "Hey, Captain, how do I not get thrown off the boat? What do I have to do to stay on the boat?"
Yeah.
The framing is sus.
How many people have you thrown off the boat and why?
Could you give me examples of what might get someone thrown off this boat so I can avoid that, sir? I think somebody wanted to. Yes, I'll cut off my guests repeatedly I have to display narcissism to embody the narcissistic sociopathy, which I must do on behalf of the fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy and the society, the sacred order of foolish transparency. Hello, I see the assassins have failed.
What about Hog Farm?
The hog farm. That is a great question, Gavin. I'm so glad somebody has finally asked me. Oh no. Right when you get the best question, here comes Paul Vanderklay to derail the entire process. Right when you get the best question, here comes Paul.
I always forget that. Sorry.
It's all right. It's good. We demonstrate that everybody doesn't have to be perfect. It's good to embody that. Hi, Paul.
You say I never stop in, and I just saw, Grizz is streaming right now. I should drop on by.
It's a delight and a pleasure and an honor for your time, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't get my homeroom video out this morning. Sorry about that. Couldn't get it finished last night, so just finishing it up now. It'll come out in a few minutes, and I got a big chunk of Jacob's Just Chatting yesterday, and I got 45 minutes of preamble to that, so it'll be plenty of grist for the This Little Corner drama mill.
Good. We need that. What we need is ladies opining about it. If Andrea with the bangs cared enough to be like, there's a big problem with it and appeal, and then we get some of that, then like there would be the dynamic we need to really launch things to the next level. But herding cats.
Yeah. Where is Andrea with the bangs? She must be paying attention to her children or something now and other unimportant things. So
finding a new fashion trend, perhaps. I do want to mention that I had a brand new thing happen today, and that was somebody like clipped me and shared it on Twitter and tagged me in it, and it was from that just chatting, so it might be in your video there. I don't know how much of me you got in there.
Oh, you're in there. I loved your comment, your very apt use of fancy Vervaeke words. You just dropped them right in there and left. That was very impressive.
It made me curious yesterday if, since there's apparently issues with the Bridges of Meaning Discord, if people are heading over there and under Mark and Manuel's rule and how that's going.
Well, no, you mean Mark and Manuel? Their rule is over at the Awakening from the Meaning Crisis Discord server.
Oh, what did I say wrong?
You said the Bridges of Meaning.
Yeah. That one's in trouble. So I'm wondering if people fleeing that sewer ship, that's what I call them, are going over to Mark and Manuel's
I don't
rule.
think so. I don't think so. So
Well,
I got the word from the Bridges of Meaning admins that they wanted me to post the link again on my videos, which I'll do. So maybe what we're going to have to do at this point, because what's happening now is exactly what I want, which is that there's the Grim Grizz channel, there's Jacob's channel, there's Randos, and BOM is thinking about, what their next morph is going to be. This is the kind of broadening out and development you want, because to have an ecosystem, it means you need a lot of little niches. And actually, when Jacob decides he's going to throw a hissy fit and leave Bridges of Meaning, that's really the perfect thing to happen, because, Jacob's complaining about Protestantism and doing the most Protestant thing imaginable, leaving and starting his own church.
Well, this is my November Q&A or some chat thing. Do you have any questions for me there, Pastor Paul Vanderclay?
Well, Grizz, you've been at this for a few years. What have you seen? What developments have you seen that you think are productive, and what further goals do you have?
What have I seen that's productive is I loved how whatever was happening on the Bridges of Meaning Discord was spawning little channels, and how you lend them agency, and that way everybody could still feel part of the corner, even if fancy Vervaeke words weren't their thing. There was still a place, and especially during intermittent periods of lockdown, that's going to be really nice and handy for people. What I see is the potential for people like my former self to come play a new video game, which I call stepping through the LARP gate into the information war, where we can, because not everybody, but we acknowledge the existence of both attention platforms and information silos. And like one of the most foundational mythos movies that shaped my life was Kevin, what's his name's, The Postman.
Oh, yeah.
And how valuable, like, the
Kevin
intercommunication. Yeah, Kevin Costner. The intercommunication between, how important that is. And so I think the potential we have right now, and what's made like a manifestation, beautiful manifestation of what I see of that potential is what Karen's work in the corner has been.
Yes.
Like integrating a bunch of big signs. She's doing, like, it's broad enough. I mean, I can squeal over 11 because it's my personal favorite that she's brought in. But just that bringing stuff into the corner for us to digest together. Yeah, it's part of what I see happening. Is like there's an internal we're figuring stuff out together thing, and what holds that together, and figuring that out, and then also how to look outside and what to bring in and see together, sense make together, yada yada. And
for all the complaining that I'm enjoying over on Jacob's channel, what I think people aren't realizing is that in some ways, these are the golden days and the glory days, or at least initial ones, because this kind of drama, this kind of growth, this kind of discovery, this is exciting. This is fun.
Hey, Magic. I haven't caught up. Now that you're here, you made me on, like, the center of my attention. And I've not kept up with chat. I also have Shane Jenkins, who looks like he's wanting to come on, but not visually. So I'm wary. I don't know if he's ready or not, since I can't see him. Gavin, do you want to hold things while I catch up to the chat real quick?
Sure. Yep. I really, just kind of echoing what Grimgriz said, I enjoyed becoming connected to Grimgriz, to Jacob, a guy named Jason Delport. Karen Wong helped me connect to Jason Delport. So there is this kind of a archetypal bridge, and there's bridges. We can each kind of participate in doing that. It takes good conversations trying to understand what the other person wants, and remembering other people and thinking about how we might be able to, help a relationship form. So that was my experience so far. I've enjoyed it.
Well, we're still waiting for some of the infrastructure to develop so that we know when is Grim Grizz streaming, when is Jacob Just Chat streaming. Now we sort of have two, and I think we'll potentially have more. Randos United might get in on the action. The Bridges of Meaning admin, they're a people think of them as sort of locked into Discord land, but they're by no means locked into Discord land. They're like a coalition, whereas Grim and Jacob are sort of, free radicals floating out there. So I see all of this as developing nicely. This is the 10 plagues. There you go, Jacob.
It's nice when there's like a tool that we find. So Jacob went out and found a tool like StreamYard, and then Jacob's doing a thing with his server where there's a notification when he goes live. And so it would be nice. Like through Discord, I get a notification. So it's, it's nice to get those notifications. Grimgriz has it set up too. We could end up with a way to know who's live and who's not, being able to participate if we want to, or just play audience. So I'm figuring it out.
And something, sorry, Paul, but the something nobody is going to have seen probably is Gavin's figured out how to do a playlist that we can run. And what would be ideal? Remember how you had that guy who you said, dude's going through all of my old stuff and commenting on it, and helping me reflect on it. The whatever hierarchy gets invoked to make the decision could be their task, is what goes in the playlist that gets run, that represents our us. It kind of like what was that, the golden disc they shot off into space.
Well, that's a huge piece of the on-ramp challenge, which is what so someone else in another space, a much bigger space, a much bigger name with much bigger resources, when he was thinking about, he is still thinking about it, the on-ramp problem with this little corner, and broader, not just our little channels, but the Vervaeke, Peugeot, Peterson, and Wong, because Karen's growing. I mean, she's getting to be a bigger and bigger player. And he's thinking about newsletter. So then something in text each day, so you could get it in your inbox, where because part of the thing is that some people are sort of video centric, some people are sort of text centric. So again, you want an ecosystem of these tools emerging, and even little channels like Chad's channel, Friday Morning Nameless. I mean, I look at that because I can't keep up with all these channels, but with all of us sort of watching and covering all of them, and enough people doing the reaping and then suddenly we get the Reader's Digest level going on because none of us can watch all of it. So, that's part of what you want in the ecosystem, because then you are doing the distributed cognition.
That's a lot of my aim, but I think somebody who like can organize and appeal to normies, spearheading an effort that looks a lot like mine would actually get some traction. But the whole notion of like people who watch they're super fans. If they're super fans, realize that we're here waiting for their clips of the best moments. Maybe maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Well, and Chad's video recently was a good one too. Just had a whole bunch of little things. So it's happening. It really is.
Could the lurkers like me perhaps reflect on old content? Yes, and please use the clip button that YouTube has been so kind to provide to us when you find the stuff to reflect on. Like, I think that's grounds for at least Discord posts, if not community posts, Substack posts. There's a lot of hot work that. Hey, Shane made it back, and I can tell now. Welcome, Shane. I don't think I've met you before.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
I've
sort of.
seen you around, but this is our first tete-a-tete, perhaps?
So I don't know if you got to ask the question that I put in the chat, but I was curious. I missed it if you did.
Well, are you going to make me find it, or will you just say
No, great. Yeah, no, I was
potential
asking
would you, Grim, see in Paul's marriage podcast?
Oh, what potential would I see in your marriage series?
Did you see the last one where the husband and wife hosts of the
Thunder Bay?
The Thunder Bay thing, where I just see so much potential there. I don't know if you've ever been on the app called Clubhouse or any of these other places where people are they're engaging in online relationship, but the sort of the limitation of these online interfaces is that you really only get to know me, and so there's this untapped potential of seeing me interact with somebody else who's actually in the room with me. Like, you would get an insight into my wife's and my relationship if you asked her a question about me while I'm there, because all of a sudden you'd see me like have all kinds of involuntary responses. I would blush, or I would try to correct her if she said a memory differently than I remembered it. And so even though it didn't get into that territory during that sort of I don't know if it was the first or second one, but to me it still seemed very introductory. People were sort of presenting their worldview and their experience in history, how, even kind of the bias of, like, whatever they call that, the survivor bias. Here we are in these healthy relationships that we didn't really have a whole lot of responsibility for. So to say, oh, I chose my wife is really like among the what options that I have and all that kind of stuff. But boy, oh boy, I've got a kid in the background I better attend to. Hold on.
Well, we are thinking about, so I've started these guys on Zoom, but I am going to migrate it eventually to StreamYard so that we can have both interaction in terms of text chat, but then also interaction in terms of being able to bring people in. So the plans are that this will be an ongoing series.
Well, my thoughts on what I've seen so far is that, like, in the first 4 minutes, who is the fella at the bottom?
Rod.
Rod says something about like women going into the workforce, and like my brain spun off on how, like, we only really need the one gender now. I'm sure we can take the double X chromosome and make a man if we need to. But between robots and genetic engineering, maybe our society is being geared out to get rid of masculine toxicity. And the for me the real question is how much on fire is our society, as to whether how much good your marriage crisis series might do. I mean, for me, we're like feminism waves 1, 2, and 3 are all antinatal. It's enmity for the womb, masquerading as other things, as liberation from the burden of raising proper people. Like I think things are so wrong-headed that I don't know where to begin helping, other than, you know, what you see me trying to do, which is essentially get people to get their kids off of video games and learning some team combat before we need it. The Dune series, if you read the Dune series, focus on the Sardukar, because that's why paintball for Jesus. But it's like the biggest wrongheadedness I see is our gross domestic product is not the character of the humans being raised in that place. Like the gross domestic product of New York should be the pinnacle of the way a New Yorker is raised, and vice versa, because it's the character of the humans. I mean, I think humans are basically being farmed by whatever forces. A lot of times I think it looks like they're farming us for fear, but that might just be to get us to behave certain ways and do certain things. But the thing is, if we're being farmed, then isn't the most beautiful rose this? Like, let's bloom. Let's bloom, people bloom, and that's family. I long for I still have up on the topic board widows and orphans, because like the porn of Game of Thrones, which I know you haven't watched, is that Jon Snow was a bastard, and like at least there all the bastards got to be family, because they changed their name to like the bastards from Yay was the Sand. They were Bob Sand and Steve Sand. All the bastards got a family name at least. And like the amount of broken homes you guys talked about, I saw some of that. You covered the amount of broken homes. Is like, we need models of good homes and good men that do their civic duty. And I'm not that. Like, yeah, you were leaning in the other day in your video about how the people need to be somebody that not only do they have to have a good message, but they have to be living a life you want to emulate. And like, I'm a cautionary tale, but I can see things from here, and I hope you have ears to hear. And thanks for your subscription. And
you have an important voice in this corner, Grim. You do.
Gavin, have you been watching the comments and have a good one to bring up?
I paid a little bit of attention. It's hard for me to read and listen.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. The shadow matriarchy needs to decide the schedule. I agree. And I would say I Am Magic is queen of the corner shadow matriarchy, while Sevilla is queen of, no, she's my channel's queen. That's all. You have your own queen. Queenie and Magic need to meet. That should be a stream.
I will add that I think, Jake, what came to mind when you were talking about what Paul's planning to do with having conversations with, I guess it was Catherine and Eamon, is I know that Jacob has spoken with a few married couples, and that's definitely interesting. I've listened to all the ones that Jacob did, and yeah, that it seems like your wife or my wife knows me better than anyone in the world. So it's really cool that you could end up with two people who know each other better than anyone else in the world being there together in a conversation. And then I'm also reminded of Jacob talking about how, like the image of God is a man and woman together, right? There's something about being incomplete until you find a partner that complements you. And so it is nice to have the sorry, Grim Grace. But it is very nice to have someone in my life like my wife who can complement me where I'm weak, can help me learn and grow, and I can do the same for her. So it's something that is very meaningful in life to find someone who's willing to go through that process of growing and learning, transforming together. And then it happens again if and when you start having children. The same kind of thing can happen in those relationships as well. So could be interesting if we start having married couples, in these live streams or whatnot. I think with my wife, we would have to do a recording first, just in case. I mean, we're both kind of introverted, but doing a live stream, I doubt she'd ever want to do that. But
veto power is very reassuring.
Yeah, it is the ability to say, let's not send that one out. And then my wife will probably say, no, I don't want to send that one out. I don't see why anyone would want to listen. Right.
Did you have anything you wanted to get out on the topic, Paul, before I derail you?
I'm good. I got to write a sermon, so I got to be getting out of here.
All right. Well, real quick, have you seen the last 20 minutes of that 40-minute thing Chad put out?
Which one?
It starts with innovation and then goes into a corner biography. I thought you were going to run it for a moment, so I thought you would have seen it for sure. But if you haven't, I don't know for the title for sure. I think it might start innovation.
Okay. I was gonna just do a little like I'm doing with Jacobs. Yes, just chatting yesterday. Today, I wanted to just post some of Chad's stuff on my channel just to give him more visibility because I think it would help. The problem is I have all these ideas. A lot of the video content that I consume is when I'm running around, and so I get in the back of my mind, okay, I want to use this, but when I finally get in front of a computer to do something, then I've got to kind of remember it all, so stuff falls through. So it's helpful when people remind me of good stuff like that. So
yeah, I think you need an assistant. But with regard before you bounce, with regard to onboarding, I think the things that I think are important are things you go back and reference, and like you did a real good job by running the three of them together with the twins and the river guy. But like those things that stick with you that you go back through,
yep,
it's good that's onboarding material that we catch up the social artifacts, like the conceptual artifacts that way. And then I think also another thing that will help is if we get somebody watching for like just the relationship arcs between that watches all of you and John and all of you and Peugeot, and like some people watching that side of it have compilation powers that could onboardingly help.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great idea. We probably need some more collective channels. YouTube doesn't make that as easy as I'd like it to, but some more collective channels where there's a cluster of people who say, like the Bridges of Meaning admins that decide, okay, we're using Discord, but now we as a group are going to have our own YouTube channel. Randos United was kind of that way, but the evolution has continued on, and internet evolution moves fast. So I think we'll see more of that emerging.
Yeah, I'm just glad that there seems to be we're holding it together through whatever strife has resulted with the bonus of Thunder Bay.
Yeah,
that drama and all the other drama that happened alongside it is all kind of one. That's a storyline that kind of needs to be encapsulated for people that are going to come in next year at some point. But anyway, I'm really glad and appreciate your time, Terry. Thanks for coming.
All right. Thanks, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
So, I don't know. We cover your base there, Shane? Yeah. Whoa, I guess he was just here for the Paul part. Well, we know that about Shane now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can catch back up the chat. Gavin, can you do that? I've made famous your didgeridoo impersonation. Is that what it was?
How long can I go?
That was plenty. I don't want to subject anybody else to any more than that. Oh goodness. I'm trying. Marty shows. Hey Marty, how good to see you. If you had more time, if I had more time, I could do clips for TikTok, YouTube shorts from this little corner, but I need time. Do you need time to find and make, or just because even if we just do a campaign about the dangers of TikTok and the way it's whittling down the human attention span in ways that are poisonous to our future, and make those a series of TikTok videos, I would really like to see us output to some other platforms, or have some person willing to work with us that does output to those other platforms. Shane has returned. Then he's gone again. He trolled me. He's trolling the bejesus out of me, this guy. Clubhouse is a dumpster fire of gangbangers BSing all day. Attention, hold on. Attention, law enforcement agencies. There's apparently a thing called Clubhouse that is a dumpster fire of gangbangers BSing all day. Maybe you should check it out. All right, we're getting there. I don't know why we don't just go to Discord, because Tencent is owned by people we don't like very much, Lost Cause. PVK's gone. All right. The Wilsons are in negotiation for the contract PVK was. Okay. Because we need an on-ramp to the corner of the internet, Lost Causes. Wait a minute. You might have accidentally said too much, Lynn. I take it to the social contract and an involuntary one at that. What?
He was responding.
This one.
Yeah.
Involuntary. It might have to be. Would Paul welcome an asexual couple on his marriage podcast? Man, they always ask right away,
That was a good question. I saw that one. I was having the same question. Would Paul have a conversation?
Pastor Paul, are you only going to let heteronormative couples on your podcast? Is that the only kind? We got some. What if we're furries? Okay, the only way we can have sex is if we put on funny costumes and we go yif. Can we still? We're married. Can we still come on? We love Jesus still. Come on, what? That's a good question. I'm glad Paul dodged it. I'm glad for him. He got to.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't notice it either.
Jesus' example of when it's so backwards, all he can do is mock. Okay, I don't know where I am in that chat, but that was it again. The Federal Reserve was created in 1913, World War I. In 1917, and when did women start voting again? I was thinking about it earlier there, Gavin. How's the one where I'm big and famous there? I was thinking about it earlier. And the things like if young idiots end up here, like Aaron, that dude Aaron, like the thing from the conspiracy realms, I really wish all Americans knew was that, like, what Woodrow Wilson did in December of 1913 with the creation of the Federal Reserve, and how that's not actually related. They say federal, but it's private, and I can't really tell you who owns it, but they get to print our money. That thing, I think everybody should know. And also the way they took away the gold standard and said, here's some dollar coupons. All your work is just internal to us now. And and that. But
Yeah. I mean, this whole onboarding pattern, it can be used by you and your channel and Jacob and his community. It's like I really like knowing each person's kind of goals, rules, things like that. It helps me. It can help me help you, right? If I know what you're actually into and what you find interesting. So the onboarding is nice, but then there's kind of like a meta level for like the corner for everybody.
that's
the
more
thing
my
to-
channel, honest.
Yeah.
It's like if most people from YouTube run across me, I don't think it's just going to be confusing and stuff. But like for corner people, I think it might feel like a tavern they get to hang out and play at. I have this highlighted, even though PVK has left, because that is the one and only mother of Lobstamonkee, Goose, not mother of Lobstamonkee, Rascal, but the mother of come on, where is it? There it is. There it is. This is after he's been fed to the AI robots in the Bitcoin goddess format. But that there is Lobstamonkee Goose, and the person responsible is Mudhut. You can go to her website and buy her stuff by clicking in the description, where I think I try to make sure it's in there. You know how it goes. You know how it goes.
I saw it.
That Peterson one she's got, boy howdy. If you saw it, you saw it. Click, yeah, you could come on if you want, Mudhut. Yeah. Thanks for lurking. Flebus, how do we say your name? We think it's Flebus. Movements like Brexit are a rejection of the gross domestic. I don't. Okay, there's these parts in Revelation about the crowns and the breaking off and the stuff, and that's more Brexit than a rejection of GDP, as far as I can tell. This little corner needs a bath. I mean, a higher birth rate and marriage rate than the rest of the world. Well, we have a plan for that, don't we, Gavin?
I don't have a plan.
You don't have a plan to increase the birth rate and marriage rate in the corner?
I haven't.
By modeling excellent fatherhoods? I really liked it when you did that series on climbing the rock wall.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I actually pay attention to climbers. Climbing is one of the interests I have.
So one of the things I didn't get into that I was thinking, or parts of me wanted to while Paul was here, is with regard to the shadow matriarchy and his marriage crisis series, is because, like, as we know from the Mouse Utopia studies, when things really fall, is when the female rats can't properly raise the young anymore. And in my mind, that's like the knowledge held and passed on by the shadow matriarchy, which is women being women together, while that's behind this, like the control they exercise over their men is completely behind the scenes and in the shadows. But like, ladies can influence ladies to influence their men in certain ways. There's a whole network of power that was, I think, soap operas really did it in. Really, like, tore it up pretty bad. But I think that kind of wisdom can come from married people relating and sharing. I think that's the kind of wisdom that we can disseminate through that sort of thing.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed my brain doing when I'm listening to these conversations, I'm thinking, is that person married? Does that person have kids? Because I feel like as you get better at being in a relationship and a marriage and being a parent, there are skills that you develop, and you can kind of notice the people who maybe are lacking the skills, right? And so that's something that keeps happening for me, and maybe I'd encourage you to notice it as well. It's like maybe next time you watch people yelling or being loud and interacting with other people, you can ask, well,
is that an adult child?
Exactly. Is that a man
or a father?
Yeah, exactly. And when do you become a man? Like, have you raised children that are helping, that have went out and you sacrifice your relationship with them and they can go out and do that work and you're not just keeping them in your nest, Like, have you tried to do something in order to make the world a better place, or did you, go make some kids and leave a woman and allow the?
Hey, let's get back to the important topics of.
I mean, it's an important topic. Making. But go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
I think that there might be a degree of which human experimentation is frowned upon, and any potential offspring of someone like me would be spared my rearing. There's an argument to be made for that anyway.
I've heard that, and I'd like have someone who, like, I was raised by my father and his best friend. You can actually look him up. His name is Danny Skutak. He was a linebacker for Auburn, but he didn't have any kids, and I think it's for that reason. It's like there's some people say, I don't know if I would be a great father, right? But I love him, and he definitely helped me out in life, and yeah, maybe it's not for everybody.
No, this pushing people to get their kids to go play paintball is probably the most fatherly thing I've ever done in my entire life. But
yeah, I mean, I'm sure like you have fatherly instincts, right? So, but I can see where getting out and doing paintball is like, it's an example of something that children can do in order to develop properly, right?
I think there's nothing but good of it. I mean, maybe one or two people lose an eye, and like I don't think they're actually going to adopt my ritual of like stringing kids up on the cross and all shooting them with like that one dude with paintballs as an initiation ritual. So if they do, I'll probably go to jail for having said it.
So Michael Sartori wants to create this thing where people, practice learning construction while growing spiritually instead of what's happening and that's currently happening. And I could definitely imagine churches that do things like that also have paintball, that have rock climbing. It's like, I think churches can transform into things that are better, and paintball out of church sounds like something better to me.
Paintball.
I'd want to go to that church. Yeah. Well, you can have like a giant warehouse, for example. Your church can be a warehouse. Like you can. Have you ever played?
Well,
paintball
it doesn't
indoors?
matter where the teams train.
No, well, you can actually compete indoors. I don't know if you've seen that.
What's important to me is that it's an organized competitive structure, and we want to be inclusive of all the various branches of religion. So it's like, if we do airsoft, then it's like fellowship airsoft tournaments instead of paintball for Jesus. But it's like actual team-based play, not just, hey, we're getting together to shoot each other for fun.
Yeah.
There's this thing, because I grew up in the American Southwest or whatever, there's this legendary thing with high school football. And I think we can recapture that while repopulating the churches with young people, if they're able to either foot the bill or run the campaign to foot the bill to manage a paintball team where the requirement is to play on the team, you have to be an active church member. Because if the church doesn't get used in somehow, then it's probably just Jesus is about to come back, and there was nothing we could have done anyway. Okay, do whatever. I have to catch up on these comments or I'm going to die.
Yeah. Eventually you'll become so popular that this will be it. You will need your own, your help. It's just finding the signal over here in the chat.
General Grimm, what can I do to better serve you? Wow, Frank, that's a brilliant question. Thank you for reminding me. This is a Q&A, people. Anything I see with a question mark is probably the only thing I should be paying attention in chat. And I really shouldn't be paying attention to the way Father Recci is mistreating people in chat. Surely my moderators or somebody else will take care of that. What you can do, Frank, to better service me. at this point, honestly, is deliver on that Peter Pan-ish. Like I've talked to like 2 or 3 other people who are excited to be participating in it, and that's a production we could probably outcast to podcast platforms, and like to say, oh, this is a generative space that we're holding with each other is evidenced by things generated from this space. And so that, sir, would be how you could better service me. Dun, 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 dun. Grizz, do you think the world is too masculine today? Masculine. No. Just as a base offset, I'd say that the chemicals and stuff in the food are mostly responsible for the drop in male testosterone over the last 60 years. And if you haven't seen those studies, you should see those studies. And there's a book I read on a diet called like The Plant Paradox, where the author not only calls Tony Robbins, I think, a god, but also says there's something in the chicken that if your wife eats too much of it while she's pregnant with your baby, his pee-pee will be smaller. So, no, I'm not, just as a basis, I would say I don't think the world is too masculine today.
I think that was probably a question related to kind of emphasizing the shadow matriarchy, but yeah, there's like the importance of the masculine and the feminine, right? Has to be both.
I think the government is trying, government was made papa for people without papas, and that was bad. And now it's also becoming the mom, papa and the mama, and it's chaotic and consuming then in that way, as far as that development goes. Oh wait, that was that one. Dr. Lenny Time says, do Grizz really run the world? Girls. Oh, good. I thought it was do I. I almost had to confess there. That was, do girls really run the world? Yeah.
First answer was maybe.
Once upon a time, and I feel in my bones it was Sam Kinison. But he looked at the situation and he saw like, all right, men have all the power and women have all the, and as long as whoever has all the will eventually have all the power. They could. It's like women could run the world, but I don't think they realize it because they're too busy trying to decide what's for dinner. I don't think girls really run the world, but they have way more power than they understand. Way more. The dollar is back. Yes, the petrodollar, they call it, but the petrodollar contract has been broken by them trading directly in the Chinese currency, if not also the Russian one, which is in violation of the petro. So it should be collapsing.
Do girls really run the world? I just want to repeat, like men and women together, I think really do it better than one or the other by themselves.
I think right now the beast system runs the world.
Yeah, something that's feeding on the fear. I heard you say that earlier, and definitely seems like that fear is like grabbing your attention, because I think, and I've got Mark in my consciousness, Congress now. It's like there's a tiger in the bushes. We see a tiger, but it's not a real tiger.
One of my favorite phrases is amygdala hijack. And I can't explain it, but boy, if you look it up, it explains a whole lot. Explains, okay, that's not a question. I think Elon should do paintball for Jesus instead of Twitter also. Even if he has to do it as paintball for Baphomet, we'll convert him later. We'll convert them after. A good friend of mine has a youth ministry podcast. Perhaps you should have a fringe encounter with him discussing paintball. I would love to. I would love to. People are welcome to approach me about doing fringe encounters. I reach out when I can.
That thing right there that CW Weeks is doing, I think, is like the embodiment of the bridge. Like, I feel like that's a good thing for people to do.
That is
really
doing the
appreciate it.
bridging, right?
Yeah, doing the bridging. Yeah. That's like, if you're going to have bridges of meaning, it seems like you would need people trying to do the bridging. Right.
I have to work sometimes. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, this has become my work because of the Shadow Cabal of production executives, otherwise known as my patrons and or Substack people, and people who can you can now become a Shadow Cabal member by getting yourself one of these here. One of these here hoodies with Lobstamonkee, Goose, and I think I might have to get one for Mudhut. Mudhut, what size hoodie do you wear? I think that's gonna happen. She's his mama. She should get him. I think, and I didn't show that, did I?
That is a cool one. I think that's my favorite merch that you've had so far. I like it.
It's terribly expensive, but that's because it makes you a member of the Shadow Cabal. It's not just for you to look cool. It also makes you a member of the
Is
Shadow
that like the lifetime membership?
However, I have to say, there's a discount code involved. And if you're on the Discord, in the section where the link to the merch is, it says the code that gets you the 20% discount. So you can be a low rent Shadow Cabal and still be Shadow Cabal and stylish. But not, because I know how it is with dollars, guys. I know. Okay, sorry, Gavin. That's the end of the commercial. Say whatever.
I was wondering if that's the lifetime membership.
If you make your savings throws. Oh, yeah, he said that. The limp wrist path. I don't know what that means, palpable, but perhaps.
Have you ever heard people do the criticism about having a limp wrist?
The criticism.
Have you ever been criticized about a limp wrist, or heard anyone ever criticized about a limp wrist?
I understand the criticism regarding limp wristedness to represent a derogatory application of the criticism of femininity in a masculine target, or perhaps homosexuality.
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. I suspected something like that.
That's my understanding. I don't know. Maybe palpable meant something else. I couldn't say. The Lost Cause says the story of Troy seems to suggest that the girls have more power than they know. Boy, howdy. Size small, and Goose will be. I will arrange it, Mudhut. You have my word as somebody who tries really hard to keep his word and doesn't do a very good job of it. Okay. I think not knowing is part of it. I think the responsibility of having and knowing the power of the shadow matriarchy is probably best fictionally characterized by Aaliyah the Knife, also in the Dune series, who as an abomination got the mother privileges while in the womb. I don't know. You know Dune, Gavin? You lost there.
I need to read it. I do. I'm sure I would enjoy it.
I'll give you the secret. Duncan Idaho is the guy. He doesn't seem like the main character, but pay attention. You know?
Yeah, I remember I had neighbors that had they would always go rent a movie and then record it, and they had recorded movies under their beds everywhere, and so I got to go and borrow movies from them and so I got to watch Dune.
Wow.
But I haven't read it. So
That's so scary dangerous.
that's well,
Hey there, little boy. Go check those VCS tapes under the bed. You can watch them.
we trusted our neighbors, and they were nice.
Well, I hope for you it was the extended cut and the one with Jean-Luc Picard in it, because that was the dope stuff.
Yeah, I saw that one.
That's where integral comes in. Integral is one of those words I have a hard time getting a grope of, like ontology and I don't know, there's another one. Because calculus was the first class I really failed, and like now I remember it as things approach the limit, you take integral slices of them and you can figure out which direction it's going. Yes, recorded movies under the bed concerned me immediately too. I'm glad. See, maybe it's just from a certain eye position, these things are immediately concerning. I don't know. What was this one? It relates to low testosterone levels in young ones that you were speaking of. The left-hand path. Oh, yes. Like what? Play video games, sit on your computer, but don't get fat. I think because if you get fat, it's sort of a different path. Show me your spaceship. No, wow. In the chat, Lost Cause is asking to see Magic Spaceship. What the hell is going on? I dropped out of high school, so taking calculus is impressive to me. Yeah, I got to the community college. My first round. Well, Gavin, let's go and say thanks everybody for making this November Q&A or chat thing a beautiful success. And special thanks to the appearance of Pastor Paul Vanderklay, superstar as far as we're concerned. Closing thoughts, sir. You got the big screen. Wait, no, how do I give you the big? There it goes. There you go. Closing thoughts.
I'm glad to be here with you, Grim Grizz. I love you. I love God. Love people. Just trying to do good work. Let me know if I can help.
You're more help than you know. Special thanks to everybody. Don't let me forget. I got to get Mudhut Hoodie, and you get one for yourself in the description box below. I'll see you around.